Hello, beautiful human. Welcome to the safe space. I'm super happy to have you here for Sex Kung Fu Fridays. Today's offering is going to be quite short and quite simple, but what I would encourage that you do is go through the core of our practice and then use this technique, which is storing sexual life force energy. Use this technique after going through the core four, especially after doing testicular breathing and ovarian breathing. But let's jump right into this offering. What I'm going to show you how to do today is to store the sexual life force energy, that primordial creative energy in your body. Now, before I show you this technique, what I want to tell you is that you already know how to do this. Your body already knows how to do this. When it comes to these energetic practices, these esoteric practices, this is more of a remembering. It's more of a cultivating of what's already there, as opposed to you learning something new. So I really invite you to bring that in, to just declare that you already know how to do this in your body. That will make this process more easy. The second thing is knowing that storing energy is a byproduct of your focus and your awareness. What you focus on, what you apply your attention to, is where energy goes. If you're more of a left brain person, if you need science in order to believe things, if you need some sort of scientific proving, you can look to the quantum physics finding. I don't know when this happened, maybe in the past 5 or 10 years or so, but we know now that electrons will change the way that they act depending on what is looking at them. So you, as an embodied individual and organism, when you observe something, when you put your focus onto it, it changes it. It changes that wave particle sometimes into form. So with that in mind, what you focus on will change. It will apply energy and awareness. It will actually change matter. So that's all that we're doing here. That's the first step, and that's the most important thing. The technique in and of itself is just extra stuff. It's to bring more awareness, but ultimately you're bringing more awareness to where you want to store the sexual energy. And that applies really to sex kung fu in general. It's a matter of applying awareness to your body, focusing on your own pleasure and arousal. So let's talk about and practice how to store the sexual energy. So if you are a male embodied individual, you're going to be storing the sexual energy in your kidneys, the governing organ of the male body, which is on either side of your abdomen or here on the back. If you're a female embodied individual, you're going to be storing the sexual energy in your liver. But the formation, the hand formation I like to make when I store the sexual energy is this. Basically, a collection point about 3 centimeters or so below the sacral region, forming this triangle. Now, for me, I will focus on my kidneys when I'm doing that, or if you're a female, you can just focus on your liver. Now, before we do that, let me show you this breathing and movement technique that helps to bring all the sensation into this area which we want to store the sexual energy. Now, after you've done some testicular or ovarian breathing, you may feel a lot of heat, a lot of sensation, a lot of arousal in your body. And what we want to do afterwards is store that sexual energy, that life force energy, in a place where it's safe, and also so we don't get distracted and it doesn't permeate itself somewhere else in the body. So we don't lose the energy. So we want to store it. So you can follow along with me right now to try this out, whether you've gone through a sex kung fu practice or not, just to get a feel for this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a clockwork circle with our hands, left to right. We're going to do that 9 times, trying to do 9 circles on an inhale. You can do a few breaths if you need to, but try to do it all in an inhale. And while you inhale, imagine a radiating sun is starting to swell in your abdomen, it's starting to grow, this beaming energy. Imagine that all of the life force energy, all of the sexual energy that you've created is coming into that space. So let's do that together. 9 circles clockwise, and imagining that energy is growing and building in the abdomen. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're going to go 9 circles in the opposite direction on an exhale. And we're going to imagine that big radiating sun of energy is now condensing into a tiny little pearl. So exhale the opposite way, counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this is the point where I put my hands in that triangular shape. I close my eyes and focus all my awareness on that point. focusing on my kidneys, and I'm also focusing on my sacral region, and I'm asking my body to hold that energy there. Press save. Feel and imagine that dense pearl of energy, that dense small pearl of energy is holding in this area. If you're female, it's holding in the liver. Take a few breaths and you just focus on that area. Feel all of it collect there. Even if you don't feel anything, imagine the energy is coming into this area. And you can sit in this however long you want. Usually I just do a few deep breaths. And then when I feel satisfied, the energy is stored. It is really that simple. A lot of these practices to the mind are going to seem very weird, but it is in the consistency. It's where you show up day in and day out. It's when you start to see the manifestations of the gifts, of the moving of energy. So I promise you, if you continue, you will see that develop. And if you're wanting to further refine this and you need accountability, if you really want to dive to the depths of your sexual energy, reach out to me so we can talk about private coaching. Much love and have a beautiful day.